Oh, there. Right, I'm going to do a video of something I've been meaning to do for a while. If you're interested, this is I'm smoking a cigar. It's a Guantanamera. I think it's a crystal. It's called a white crystal or something. I hope it ain't got white crystals in it because I'm gonna get fucked up. But I think they're about a tenner. I actually bought this about a week ago. I've been sort of saving it for a quiet night once I come in my garage. This is the Thunderbirds I bought. I haven't had it dated yet, but I have give it a clean. Let's just put the light on here. You can see the difference, but it should look a little bit cleaner than when I first bought it. Definitely looks cleaner than when I bought it, doesn't it? You can tell. Looks a lot better. I've cleaned the buttons up and cleaned all around here. Anyway. What I want to talk about was, in America, 99% of the stuff, and pretty much all they understand is a slot machine is random. Where over here in England, we are lucky enough to have had, for the best part of probably 40 years, which is now dying out, the compensated pub fruit, which is how everything in here pretty much works. Apart from this. So if we press the help and we go through it, is it somewhere around here? Oh, I missed it. So here we go. So this game is 100% random and it has an average payout of 90% or greater. Now what people will say is, well, if it's random, how can it only pay out 90%? Because if it's random, it should be able to do anything. Now let me explain my interpretation of how that works. It was explained to me. If you basically have 100,000 combinations and you value each combination at £1 and it costs £1 to play, but if 10,000 of them combinations pay nothing, and what you then would do is allow variance. So the other 90,000, instead of all being worth £1, some are worth, well, a lot of them are worth 50p, but then some will be worth £2 to £5. Some would be, very few would be worth 5 to 50. Even less would be worth 50 to 100, and then even less again would be anywhere between 100 and say 490, and then the very few are worth 500. So it averages out. Play it long enough, you're going to see 90%. This is set to 92. So if you say 100,000 spins, you play on it, you would see on average about 92% back. You might get the odd time where you pay 100 grand for it, you might get 98% back, and you might play £100,000 for it another time and go, I only got 80. But overall, that's what it's aiming for. So again, how can it be random if it's still payout percentage? So let's take a standard roulette wheel, UK roulette wheel. You've got 36 numbers plus the 0. Now the 0 is the house edge basically. So if you take 37 segments, you get 100%, you divide it by 37, you get roughly about 2.7% per segment. So they pay you a house edge of 35 to 1 on 36 numbers. So they will make on average 2.7% for every pound you wager, or every £100 you wager. So that roulette wheel is working to a mathematical percentage, even though it is random, which is exactly the same way as how these will work. Now, another thing, people will say, well, why don't you play online? Online's 97.98. Yes, it is 97.98, but you're using your own electric. You're basically staffing yourself. Not starving, staff. You are your own staff. You'll make your own tea and coffee. They're not going to give you anything. And that's why when you go into an arcade, you'll see 92, or if you go to some arcades, give you 94. I've seen some in some bookies, I'm not naming them, some games in some bookies are 95. I've also been to services that give you as shit as 88. £89 if you're on £2. That is pretty poor. So, but that's services for you. That's the random concept. And then what they could end up is you end up with a gamble option. This hasn't got a gamble option, but you may have seen it on people like Trono's videos and some of my older videos like Rainbow Riches. You have a gamble option, and the gamble can be 100% random. Now that means if you've got that gamble on, when you do a 50-50 gamble, that is a genuine 50-50. Which is, okay, no harm done. But arcades don't like that, because while you're doing that, you're not spending money. So what they could do is they could say, well, the gamble's like 99% return. So if you did a 50-50 split, it might be that 51% is a chance of a lose, 49 is a percent chance of a win. But digitally, it will display it as a 50-50. Another way to sort of look at it is if you remember when Keybet Roulette was about and the roulette games were on £100 a spin, you could have the gamble on. And on the actual wheel itself, to double your money, there was slightly more segments that would lose than what could win. That means then that machine technically is making a profit on the gamble. But because you are not spending money while you're doing that, it's making a small house edge out of you. So that was another thing that could happen. So how does the compensated work? Now, as you can see, we might be able to see on here, if we have a look somewhere, the outcome of... I'm trying to see where it sits on one of these machines. It will explain it a little bit better. So it says just here, which you can't... this game is compensated. Let's get there. So you can see there, this game is compensated and may be influenced by previous play and offer the player where there is a chance or little chance of success. So on a compensated game, this is basically looking at the history, and that is going to affect the future on how you play it. So over the course of 100,000 spins, again, you're still going to see the percentage. Now on this is saying set to 70%. It's not. This is more. This is minimum 70%. You can adjust these quite easily. I think this is on like 90. I've got it set to. But the common percentage return on these is usually between 72 and 84 in England on a pub fruit machine. Now, to Americans, that sounds backwards, because Americans, what they would say is, hang on, 84%. That means the owner is making 84p or 84 cents every dollar. No, in England we do it the other way around. So 92% is the 92% of your wagered or staked money is going to come back to the player. Where in America they would call that 8%. They would say 8%, sort of like a house edge, but we call it pays out 92%. So on the pub fruit, why are these set lower? Well, there's a reason. You could play this with £100 and not see one bonus, and the bonus doesn't last very long anyway. But you play these, every £2 or £3 on average, you're probably going to get on the board, and while you're on the board, here we go. It's gonna. All right. Can we get on the board? So even now, this is doing this, and I'm now not spending any money. So add again. Okay, we're back to spending money. But there is times on this where you are just not spending money. Like now. So here we go. Now while I'm standing here thinking about this, again, this is not earning any money. So, do I take that or collect it? You might be standing with your mate, having a drink. Okay, well, we'll go lower. I'm still not spending any more money. This machine's not earning any money right now, and yet I'm playing it. Again, still not earning any money. I still can stand here. Hold on, cigars for that. Okay, so we'll carry on with higher. Still not spending any money. This is why these are set lower, because there is, when being played, you have things like that happen where you know you're going to get on the board regular, and this is at a point where you're not spending money. So to offset that, you know, I might be standing here looking at these like this. What do I hold? What am I doing? Again, I've stopped play again. I'm not spending money. So I've just spent another 1 credit there. Now I'm back to not spending money. Oh, it's a jackpot. There we go. So again, Americans be watching. How the fuck do you know it's jackpot? How did you hit that? Well, on this, like I said, this is a compensated game. It's not looking over hundreds of spins or hundreds of thousands of spins. This is working over this might, because it's only a £15 jackpot. This is probably working over the period of every £300 staked or every £200 staked. It's seeing a certain amount come back.
You fight well, my son.
That's a repeat chance. Only cost me 1 credit if it hits yes. If it hits no, it's cost me nothing. But if I hit yes, I win that amount again, basically. We didn't. So it hit no, so it takes 1 credit off me. This is a maximum jackpot of £15. So in 1 credit, the most I can win off 1 credit is £15. So if I put 2 credits in, I could effectively win 2 jackpots. If my first press is jackpot and it repeats, I can win £30 or 50p. Or £60, I think this is 30p a go. So, but that is capped. Like this is capped to £500 in any one win. And so the highest I can get in 1 spin is £500. The highest on this is only 30p a go. The highest on this is 15. Highest on this is now set to a tenner. Shows a fiver, ignore that. The machine, that's just glass, that is just decals. It is what the computer inside knows, is what the board inside, the chips are programmed to. And this is programmed to £10 jackpot. Who wants to win a tenner, Americans, you would think? If you had a slot in America that was on a $50 jackpot and it was 50 cents a play, you'd have a go on it, surely, for a bit of fun. And if you win it, but if it's just a simple machine like this, people still play these in England, and the jackpot's only £35, around $40. But it's 50p a go over here, so that's about 50 pence a go. But this can go mad. Over the course of, say, £80 worth of credits, you might win nearly £200 in wins, which keeps you playing and you can get like a bit of a run out of it. This game is also compensated, but slightly unpredictable because you can't tell exactly what it's going to do or guarantee you're going to see a return over a certain amount of a small amount of money. You could guarantee a return over, say, £10,000, but over a smaller amount of money you can't guarantee it. A bit much like how Kung Fu would work, this £15 jackpot. Obviously the bigger the jackpot gets on a compensated game, the bigger the swing will still happen, but you will play, you could get it. But on a random machine, this is the most easiest way to understand a random machine. I've got just as much chance of winning jackpot on the next press as what I have in 10,000 presses time. I've still got the same chance of jackpot every press, pretty much every press. Even if I've just won jackpot, I've still got just as much chance of jackpot coming in the next spin as what I did the spin before. But on these, I've just won jackpot on that one. I now have less chance of winning a jackpot again. Now it could be that it's took plenty of money to allow for 2 or maybe 3 jackpots. So that's a chance I could take and carry on. Or you are actually right in thinking to yourself, it's just paid a jackpot, probably got less chance of winning, probably should come off it. But on this, it is irrelevant what you've won off it. It's absolutely irrelevant whether you've won a £500 or you've lost £500 in it. It's still got the same chance of paying out. Because it's random. You don't know when that's going to do anything. It doesn't have to do anything, and again, it could overpay. For £1,000, it could actually go over, but then it could go under. You know, you can't really predict so much. A compensated game is more safer gamble because the part of your brain that wants to gamble will say to you on these kind of machines is, even if you're £30 in on that, your brain will be going, well, at least you got a jackpot. It's probably dead. I'll give it a couple of quid, I'll get off it. But with this, you could be £1,000 in and get up to 800 quid, and your mind is still thinking, if I can just get another 200, But the back of your mind's thinking, what if I lose it all? But you're also thinking, but I could win it all. And that is why roulette makes so much money to a bookie and to a casino, because it's all luck. It is all luck, and that is what these are. There's no skill element to it. Just press start. I've got as much chance of winning on this, pressing that button, as what an American has who's never played this machine before, pressing start on that button. Where if someone who doesn't play machines at all has less chance actually winning on this fruit machine than what I do, because I know I've played it plenty of times. So that is the other side of it. It's a bit like a computer game. These are a bit like a computer game. The better you are, the more chance of you have of winning. And the people who don't really play them that much, they don't play them very much. So yes, they can still win, but you're spending more money through the machine. So you've learnt it, or you've played it more. You actually have a small bit of an edge at winning, a bit more of an edge of winning over somebody else. So the pub fruit machine was always based around that when it come in, people would play it to try and learn it first, and the people who learnt it first would figure out or feel like they could beat the machine. You can't beat these long term pretty much if you just stay on it. You need, someone's got to lose for you to win, and for someone else to win, you have to lose. That is pretty much how this works. Where with these, you're all going to lose long-term guaranteed if you all keep playing it. None of you can come out ahead because there's nothing you can learn on it. You are literally going to pay forever just to play that game. And you might have your ups and downs, but at the end of it, you should all be down. Where in theory, something like this, you might find that one or two people in the pub have actually put a profit out of this. If it's been in there a year, there could be some people that are up. There'd be others that are down, a bit like a pyramid scheme. If more people are down than are up, and the owners took his profit as well. But you might find that someone who's really learnt it inside out, or learnt this inside out, has actually made money out of it. He's still gambled and put money through it, and the machine has still made money out of him because he's played money through it. But he's also took money out of the machine. It's a bit hard to explain, but if no matter what I do, even me, this is still that machine in there is still taking, I think this is set to 80%. So every time I press that button, 20% of that staked 30p is gone. It is gone straight to the machine. You cannot get it back. It doesn't put that money anywhere for you to get it. All it's doing is every time I press start, basically 80% of my 30p is going into what I can win, and 20p is gone. That is it. So, or 20% is gone. That is how it works. This is sort of working the same way, but randomly over 100,000 spins, it is turning an 8% profit, or you could say over 1,000 spins. But it is a bit more of a window because it's a £500 jackpot. There's quite a big window on this. Same would apply to this Great Escape. As you put money through it, see, this is what I mean. On here, the machine tells me nothing about if I get that symbol there, this here and this here. It tells me nothing on this machine about that. Nowhere. It doesn't mention anything about it. It tells you what 3 cherries are, mix 7, any mix 7s, all these other wins. But if I can get that treble bar there, what's that about then? That's a hidden feature. This is if you play it enough and you mess about enough with it, there's little things you can find out. So there you go. So it's high, low, and a 10. If it doesn't want to give me if it doesn't want to win, that will not win. So we'll just collect that. That's £5 I just won there. So this is what I'm saying. These are. Playing this is like, it's how I put it, I shouldn't, but playing this is like playing a computer game where every time you load it up, the controls change. You can't learn anything about it. You're just sitting there. It's a bit like watching a computer game play itself, and you hope you complete it or whatever. And most of the times you're going to load it up, you're going to die, not going to win. But that's the simplest way I can put it. Where these is a bit like buying a computer game and you can learn it. It will cost you money, but you can learn it. I'll have to carry this video on because my phone's nearly dead.